I know in my mind we're gonna get blamed for this. Let me call the homie so we can try to escape this.
The Cruz Show.
The Gates. It's the Cruz Show. Real 92.3 all day. The Gates is a new Lionsgate movie in theaters March 13th. The Gates starring Mason Gooding, Algee Smith, Keith Powers. On the show right now. These are my guys. What's up, man?
What up?
What's going down, man? Congratulations. The movie's crazy. It's a wild film, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Listen, when y'all split, I was like, here we go. Yeah. And of course, it's the homies. One homie has to say, nah, I'm the leader of the pack.
Yeah.
I feel that way and give that energy off. I'm doing this, or I feel we should do this, and then that's when things go all bad.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
they don't stick together.
No, it's those juxtaposing point of views.
That's
It's
real.
like, I know what's best, I promise you, and then how they kind of collate with one another. And ultimately, there is not really a right way of doing it, but surviving together ideally is the goal.
At one point when you guys were reading the script, were you ever thinking about your own character? Like, man, shut up.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, 1000%.
That's the fun part. Then you got to find a way to justify
to make it make sense.
and make it make sense and put yourself in those shoes and make it truthful.
Yeah.
That's the fun part, though.
Well, it's hard with Derek as a character, and it's fun to portray characters that obviously learn over the course of a film, but his relationship to authority or law enforcement is one of privilege, that maybe he grew up in a more affluent area and had a more positive relation. Maybe he's never been in the back of a squad car. Maybe he's never been profiled the way that maybe his friends have.
Yep.
That as the film progresses and he's had to confront his own understanding of how he's perceived by whether it be the law or people that propagate negative relationships to other people through their faith, it meant that the arc of the character could encompass something I learned a long time ago, and then getting to play that in a movie is cathartic, because I'm like, oh, this is what it was for me to learn that it's not always black and white.
Yeah.
I've entered a gated community before, and I felt that way.
Hey, just naturally though. You're right though. You're right.
Right.
You're right though. Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah, and the HOA fees go crazy.
I think it's funny though, because you hit the nail on the head with just like, when people watch the film, I'm expecting it to have that type of reaction. When we split up, people are like, why'd y'all split up? That's one of the moments where that's what it goes haywire. Yeah, I know, man. I know.
You got a shotgun pointed at
You feel me? Yeah.
Hey, so the chemistry is crazy. I love the chemistry. What went into the preparation for the film with you three?
It was it's a lot of kick time for sure. So myself and Keith had known each other for a while. We did New Edition Story together back in 2016, 2017. So that was really dope. So just when I saw that he was a part of the cast, it was like a no-brainer. But yeah, we were all in Oklahoma for a little while before we started filming. So we was going out, just exploring the city. Went to a couple festivals out there. We got a chance to go to the Tulsa Museum, where they had like a live simulation of the Tulsa riots that happened back in the day. So we got to experience history together. We got to go out on the town together before we even stepped on set to start shooting. So I think that actually helped a lot. Just with the chemistry and the camaraderie to get through those scenes and like get through those. Cause it was a night shoot, so we only went to set at like nighttime and got off in the morning.
And we kept that same schedule on the weekends.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, because we just wanted to stay adjusted to the time during the week we were filming, so we would like stay up at night.
Yeah.
And then like we would hit chicken Waffle House. We would hit Waffle House
After every day rap, we go sit at Waffle House.
and then the sun be coming up, then we go like to the telly and then go to bed.
Any
throughout
fights
the
at
day.
Waffle House that you guys experienced?
Nah, but but I can't tell you, we spent a lot of money at that Waffle House.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money.
We was at that Waffle House every night.
Kept them afloat. They're still there. We've got pictures on the wall and everything.
No facts.
Single-handed
Support local business. That's right.
Yeah, we didn't experience no fights at this one.
Something I gotta say, Algee, about your character is that I don't know if it's because you are a Scorpio in real life, but you were pissing me off.
Damn.
The second you came on screen, I was like, what's his problem? Like, what are you about to find out? What was that like character, I guess, shift for you? Like, because obviously you in person is not like that. Like, what?
Or is he?
I was gonna say, I think that a side of my Scorpio may be like that. But no, I think I think just like what Keith was saying, you find a way you have to justify it as an actor. You have to justify what's on the page. You can't look at it and judge it and say, well, I wouldn't do this because it's not you. You know what I'm saying? So why did he do it? And let's make it make sense. But I feel like, Kevin was on edge a lot, but at the same time, Kevin was such the voice of reason in moments that could have been avoided so many times.
Yeah.
So it's like, that Scorpio for sure played into my character development, though. It did, though.
Nah, for sure. I thought about it too. I'm like, yo, someone pour a drink in that man's face and run. And that's exactly what happened.
Which is the best feeling in a movie. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, bro, because I was in it. I'm in it, man. I'm like, nah. We in this house now. Dude got a gun.
Feel me? Yep.
Throw this brown liquor in his face. That's right. Get out of here, bro.
See, because
We needed him.
right. Because you talk about like empathy for character, which I think is a huge predication for the way we do our job, is like removing judgment from the psychoses of a character so you can embody them most authentically.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think for me, the most profound engagement with that was watching the late James Van Der Beek portray this level of menace without approaching it from a place of malice. It always felt like his justification was for the betterment of his community.
Yeah.
And it speaks to his immense talent as a performer that anytime we'd have a conversation, it never felt like he was both in character and out of it, dismissing the dynamic we had. I'm younger and less experienced, and he's this, icon in so many ways, both, again, in character and off, that he would consider me and Derek, my character, in a way that meant when he was pitching me some less than positive things or like a more nefarious plan, it comes from a place of actually considering my personhood. And I think for me, watching him play that duality both on and off screen speaks to how empathetic and considerate he could be. The fact that his character uses it for negative means is just indicative of that character.
Yeah.
That's real.
No, and I think that's what makes him, like you said, such an icon both on and off screen, is that you learn not only from, your characters, but you also learn as a person. I mean, James, you can tell that the second that he was on screen, you just felt this immense, an aura of just like, okay, he leaves such a presence on screen and with you guys as well.
He acts with his eyes in his face.
Truly, really and truly. Because there's a scene, we obviously, it was an indie movie at the time. Lionsgate hadn't quite came into the picture, so we were very precious about what time we were spending in each take. And there was a sequence in which James and I were sitting down at a table and having a conversation where he's trying to massage the idea of joining the coalition or the idea of his community. And a lot of that, with a lot of cult-ic mindsets, is trying to strip my ego and rebuild it in a framework that he can manipulate however he'd like. And obviously, because we're cross-shooting, everything is usable. And the director, John Burr, who's fantastic and super collaborative, was like, James mentioned that he wants to add some things improvisationally that'll make it feel more authentic to like the spiritual side of his character. Is that okay? Yeah, of course, I'm down to play, whatever. And we're waiting off on the wing and we're standing there. It's just him and I. And James goes, hey, so did John Matt? I was like, yeah. He goes, okay, because, I just want it to be most authentic to the faith and what, something like this. And he launches into a 10-minute monologue, both perfectly in line with the narrative and incorporating the written word. And he goes, so do you think you could find, and I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. And we get into it and we're going back and forth. It felt like a volley of like creativity where we're trying to match each other's energy and pay respects to one another. And I'm crying and he's not crying because his character wouldn't do that. And then the scene ends and he comes over and he goes, I felt that was acting, by the way. And I was like, I could tell. I could tell.
Like, if you guys had any of those moments,
I could tell.
if you guys had any of those moments where you just like, that you feel that intensity so hard that you just like are like, whoa. And once it says cut, once the director says cut, you're just like, okay, I need a second.
It's almost like an outer body experience.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It's kind of what you go for. I'm sorry.
No. So I mean, it's definitely. I mean, you find the best is when you like when it surprises you.
Yeah.
Like when you're trying to find it and you're doing it. You're doing the thing. You leave all your preparation, off the set. Once you get on there, it's just there, and it's those moments where you just feel it, right? And it surprises you, and you kind of snap out it mentally, like, oh shit, but then you got to get back into it. But I think what I loved about even like James in that sense was like, even when he was offset and he was just being James, you still felt like he had a bit of the character. He had embodied it still, like he embodied the character, not to the point where he was just walking around with malicious intent on the set, but like he just had this presence that was, he just naturally charismatic, you know what I'm saying? But it was still in related to like the character that we had to face on set, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that was like really cool and like a teachable moment too. It's like James, man, I miss James like a mug, but he just, yes, rest in peace, James. He just embodies that, and he's a vet, so
You're a vet for sure. That's animal movie credit, right?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I believe, yeah.
He drove all the way down in a camper and stayed there. He invited you guys into the camper to spend some time.
Yeah, he did. That was a cool thing to see, man. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that from from my years of being on set. You're pretty much your number one, and throughout the whole film, drives his own transportation down, parks that, says I don't want a hotel. I'm gonna stay here on the set. Wherever the set moves, I'll move my RV. But it also shows you how grounded he was and just his daily, whatever it is, routine that it was, his daily way that he lived life. So yeah, we got to go in the RV and kick it with him and have some great conversation with him, and we was in there like, man, this your trailer? like, man, like I'll stay the night here too. Yeah.
Symbolically, the idea that he would take a piece of himself that he finds, comfort in and contribute it to the film as a part of our base camp. It's it speaks to his willingness to dive in and be present for all aspects of making the movie. It always felt like he was there for any conversations or questions or, character work that you needed to do. So
What would he pay attention to before you guys heard action?
it felt like every time you ever talk to someone that feels as if a million thoughts get funneled into the right one at the right time. It felt like prior to action, he would manage a million different ideas, especially because he's a writer and a brilliant one. He had all these ideas of dictation and also intonation and delivery that when paired with collaboration and chemistry and the dynamic of the scene, he would find each correct moment, especially in context of how you're giving it to him, is like how you're serving the narrative for him. Felt like you watched the great many strip away into correctitude in a way that for you want to pay tribute to, you want to dial in. I think for me, I don't know if in my career I've gotten to a point where I have a wealth of options in my head that I can pull from. So it's about following instinct that he obviously facilitates by bringing in so many options and so many different takes, and every take you to, action cut is something be different. You'd have a new gift. It's the most actory thing I could have said. But like, it felt like gifts every time he,
I feel that though.
offer up a way of saying something or the idea in the moment that, felt productive.
What a great performance that you guys get to have for the rest of your lives.
Yeah, and you guys get to be a part of something, that's so much bigger than just doing a movie. With psychological thrillers, I know that with the audience, we're always constantly going through our heads, obviously watching it and seeing your character's growth. What is something individually that you would say you have grown learning from your characters throughout this movie?
It's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like the film, it's about 3 black boys traveling through a gated community and the prejudice that kind of comes around it. I think it's also about the relationship we have to authority and our upbringing is kind of inciting a lot of our predisposed understandings of where we fit into society. For example, Derek specifically, W.E.B. Du Bois had this line of thinking, the talented tenth, which was the notion that the most talented and gifted 10% of the black community is meant to enrich and uplift the other 90%. And something about Derek's natural talent and intellect applied a level of pressure to perform at a higher level or be successful for the sake of his mother and his sister, that meant without having a negative experience with law enforcement or negative aspects in authority, he was unwilling to recognize, like, maybe calling the police is not what you need right now. Maybe it's about getting out and try.
You said the vibe right now. It's not the vibe right now.
And trying, and I think trying to communicate to an audience that is a very natural dynamic to take, both in terms of your livelihood as well as your social dynamic, is, to me, the piece of the movie that I hope once the credits roll and you're in the car with your friends, you talk about things like that. It's like, what is a safe way to navigate an environment in which you are othered or you are depersoned in a lot of ways?
Were there any lines that were improvised that made it into the movie?
Yes.
I feel like there was a few of them. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
I remember one of yours.
for real?
What was it?
The shirt one at the end. Because you haven't probably that.
Dialogue.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
You almost have to be in the moment so much that
That's a spoiler.
We got like a spoiler alert.
Ready, but I don't want to. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Let me get one of you.
I know exactly which line you're talking about.
Shirt?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Wait, I forgot that was improv.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious.
Wow.
My favorite of Algee's, if I may sing his praises, there's a scene where we're like hiding behind the car and we're trying to figure out what to do, and he goes, and he grabs his phone. I'm like, who are you calling? Call the police. Like, what? And he goes, I'm calling Boogie in now. And Boogie was not. I was saying, who was a Boogie?
Calling the homies. What you talking about?
Boogie is him.
Yeah, I'm calling the homies, man.
He's like, what are the homies
But
gonna
that's
do
what
right
you
now?
would say, right? Like, yo, I'm calling Boogie and them, dog.
Right.
They'll be here in 10 minutes.
Right, the police. Yeah, exactly. That, and yeah, that's the other side of it too. Like Kevin's idea was justified based on his line of thinking. It's like, you know, if we call the police, I know in my mind we're gonna get blamed for this. Let me call the homies so we can try to escape this. Like,
It was so hard.
yeah.
I just got my phone.
It would be so hard to like keep a straight face in those moments. It'd be like, in those moments, it's like, man, that's brilliant, but it's like, that's also funny as hell. So it's also like real.
So I hope this isn't too much of a non sequitur, but I like to consider myself a fairly composed actor. I can do my job without discretion. For some reason, we had shot all night, and then the sun came up. It was just been there for 12 hours or whatever, and we have this final scene where we're all standing by an ambulance, and Keith says something heartwarming, and we high five, and we're like, I got you, bro, like
Yes.
brothers for life. For some reason, we dapped so crispy. And I just couldn't stop laughing. And we did. I was like, they won't use that in the movie, obviously. And sure enough, it gets to that scene. It was just too perfect.
That's
real, though.
That's clean. That's clean. Yeah.
Algie was really sleepy in that season. I'm just looking.
My eyes might have been shut on one of them takes. And just
Long days. How long are days on the set like that?
Man, you know, usually like you get like 12-hour days on set. That's like one of the standards, right?
Right.
But on that film, it just varied because we have night shoots, and so some days were longer, some days were shorter. But it felt like every day was longer because it was a night shoot. Like, yeah, you get to like you get to set around like 6 p.m., 6 or 7 p.m. You don't leave till about maybe 10 a.m.
So because you gotta maximize. Obviously, you only have a certain amount of night, especially in the summer.
Of course.
And I guess this was closer to fall, but like, yeah, there were times where once the sun went down, we were cameras up, speeding, and then the sun would start to come up. There was a point, I don't want to call out the movie because it's edited incredibly well, but there's a scene that we took so long to get to in the quarry where the sun was up, and we were freaking out. We're like, "Is any of this useful?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna turn the sun off. Like it's fine." Like in the editing.
Yeah. Right, exactly. That part. That part.
That's right.
We'll turn the sun off is crazy.
They would just turn the sun off.
Don't worry about that.
I feel like the more like funnier lessons of this movie is one, always carry a portable charger, and two, just go through traffic. It's never.
Hey, she is on to something with that portable charger. Though. I just said that the other day. I'm like, I gotta get a new one.
Some of my own
I know I gotta get a new one too. Yeah.
Shortcuts have never helped us.
No, you probably solve most horror movies with a portable charger.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk.
Like The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, right.
Not today.
It could have been in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sometimes you gotta sit in that traffic. Sometimes don't go through a gate you don't know nothing about.
That's right.
You know.
Together.
Stay together. The main part. Stay together.
And always have Boogie in them or
Always had the homies on speed dial.
Boogie.
He said,
Have them ready to go. When did you guys watch the final product?
I don't think.
Uh-oh.
Well, you know, the last time I watched it was like maybe 2 weeks ago, but I don't know if that's the final because I know that, you know, I don't want to speak too early, but I know that maybe something else added. Yeah, but hopefully, I think tonight is the final that we get to see. Right. Yeah.
I was shooting in Tenerife, and obviously it's like 8 hours ahead. And I remember the link came in, and I was shooting it actually, was exhausted, and I was like, I guess I'll watch it. And I remember knowing or like feeling the pride and getting to be as excited about a project with people that I care about, because it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I had a fight scene the next day, and I'm just sitting up watching my computer. I was like, this is great. Everything's fantastic. That was, oh,
It's gonna be amazing. The final product is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. He said, "Do we have to
watch it right now?"
Watch the end.
Yeah.
watch the
Don't like that.
Watch the end, dog. Yo, March 13th in theaters everywhere. The Gates. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, man. We appreciate y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
It's the Cruz Show. Let's go.